So today on Project Shop, I'm gonna check out this PA biodiesel centrifuge. I ran it for about 12 hours straight. And we got probably 80 something gallons, almost 90 gallons. We still have more in here. I still have more out there to transfer in here. I'm gonna round up all the oil that I have on site and I'm gonna just let this thing run. I'm actually gonna clean it now, see what it looks like inside. I'm gonna start it back up and I'm just gonna let it run. I'm gonna run down the street real quick to go to Home Depot and then just let this thing eat, and I'm gonna get the right plug, and then the rest of this will be filtered with heat. Running the fan, I think I might get a different fan. This one's kind of overkill for this, but this needs a little fan to keep it cool. It's just not spinning fast. You can look in there and just see it turning slow. Other than that, I think it's working great. So let's pop this thing open real quick. Now eventually, I'm gonna have to get this set up to where it's a little bit lower. But for now, this works out okay. And I also need a place to put this when I'm cleaning it. I don't know, we'll get it dialed in. They can sit there for now. I'm real curious to see the difference in this bowl when using the heat. Should get a pan. Oil management is definitely going to be a thing. I had a pan somewhere. Let's see what I got laying around here. Now this thing's been sitting for over 24 hours. I gotta find me a dedicated Allen key. Oh, first try, man, I'm good. Wow, I could sit here and say I'm surprised and shocked, but I'm really not, because I mean that's not nearly as much as the first clean out, but being that I pumped all that stuff in there, immediately all the water and sludge and heavy stuff would have went to the bottom. So I think in that first 4 or 5 hour run, we ran all the crap out of this thing. Let's find a piece of cardboard. So this is what I would probably expect from oil that has been settled. But look at all that sludge. Wow. I mean, it's still in there pretty thick, but not nowhere near as bad as that first one. And I'm not really sure what the gallons per hour is. I know I got it slow. I slowed it way down. We might even have to dial it back just a little bit more. And now with the heat, I think we're really gonna pull some gunk out. Now I have a bunch more drums, probably 3 up front, and I probably have 4 out back that I'm gonna dump in here tonight. And they probably got, who knows? Well, what I'm gonna do with those is I'm gonna put my pump all the way to the bottom, and I'm gonna use that drum that I had before, and I'm gonna pump out all the crap off the bottom until I see nice, clean black, because those things have been settled. Matter of fact, I might leave those drums right where they are and just bring my pump and another drum and transfer it out of there. That way, I'm not introducing much more water here, because I washed a bunch of water going here at one time, and it seemed like it cleaned it out. Now, I don't know. We've got a little bit of water in there. We'll check that out later. But I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and I'm gonna get this thing spinning. I'm gonna go to Home Depot. We'll come back, hook up the heater, let this thing cook off for a little bit, and then I'm gonna round up all the oil I have and get it all in here tonight, clean up all the oil that I have in the shop, and then I'm just gonna let this thing cook. We'll fill this up. Now another thing, I already see like condensation in here, and I know when this gets hot there's probably going to be more. I'm actually thinking about, because of the way this trickles down, I might put a T in here with a vent. We might vent it off right in this tube. But we'll have to see. Plus, another thing, I seen the guy in the PA BioDiesel, he had cut a notch in here and put a fan. Now, I have some fans that I've been keeping for situations like this. This is perfect because this is a 100 to 120 volt fan. And just so that we blow some dry air in here, it's my ticket. It's a phone charger. Okay. We're gonna get this wired up. Now, like I said, this is just temporary until I figure out exactly how this is gonna be. But I am gonna build a control panel that I can control all this stuff. The pump, turn everything on and off with switches, turn the fans off. We're gonna plumb in exhaust so that we can, I mean, we might not even need this here blowing into the tank if I put an exhaust sucking out. You know, I'd rather just have, we can cut a notch, put a little screen, like a filter, thick filter, and then just have all these plumbed into a manifold where it's just got a vacuum on them all with one motor. So, like I said, this is a work in progress, but we're getting there. We're gonna have this thing dialed. This is gonna be a sweet system when we're done. And I'm already thinking about adding a second centrifuge. You know, because everybody's talking about running 1 pass, 2 passes, sometimes 3 passes. So the hours and the amount of time that takes, and I'm thinking right away, okay, why don't I just drip it out of this centrifuge into another one, and then eventually maybe even link them all somehow off of one motor. You know, I can put a motor on this, and I've seen motors where they have shafts coming out the bottom. I can just run a belt right over to another centrifuge, you know, and we can run all of them, just get a bigger motor, all of them off of one motor. We could do it in 1 pass, and maybe even, I don't know, speed it up a little bit. Each one maybe just slightly faster and faster, harder, push it harder and harder. I don't know, but for right now, we're cleaning the crap out of this oil. I'm really wanting to see, once I blow through all this, what I'm gonna probably do is use one of these pumps and pump it up into one of these and just let it feed down through the system. That way I'm not running that pump all the time. That's not going to be necessary for everything. We are going to have that integrated in here somewhere. I'm not sure what, but right now, if we're doing a 2-pass system, yeah, I'll do it like this. But I just don't like, I really don't like pulling from the bottom. You know, we're just running a bunch of unnecessary gunk through this. And I think I can get a lot of this pretty much settled out just by settling. Having the settling tanks where you inject the oil into the bottom and pull from the top, and do that 2 or 3 times in 2 different settling tanks. And the volume of oil, like the oil, I haven't even begun to pick up oil yet. You know, the little bit of oil that I have now is just from like my neighbor and a guy down the street. So I think I got a 55-gallon drum next door from the other guy. And once I start, you know, hitting the road like, hey, let me get some oil from people, we're going to get some. Plenty. We're gonna fill these totes up as fast as I can go out and get it. It was never a problem for me in the past. People were just happy to give it to me. So, and I mean, in the past, people at some point, they were actually paying me. So hopefully maybe we can get back into that. I'm gonna get this cleaned up. We'll put it back in. Now that I have my dedicated Allen key, that's dedicated. Good thing I got a whole toolbox full of like random tools, bits and pieces of sets, you know. It's always good to have that, because then I can dedicate tools to one thing and not have to pull it from somewhere else. And yeah. So anyway, enough yapping. I know I always get crap on the internet for talking too much, but I just want to explain thoroughly what I'm doing and why, you know. And I really would like any input anybody has or any suggestions, you know. So, oh, and another thing, like this here, like I used to set up air systems like this. I'm going to put a T here with a valve. So coming straight down, if there is any moisture or anything that gets in here, it'll come down here. All right, I'm back at it. I went to Home Depot, got a couple things. I got the plug I needed. I bought a scrub brush so I can clean out the inside. I bought some wire nuts because I needed some wire nuts the other day and I didn't have any. It's not particularly for this project, but... And then I got some more things pertaining to cleaning out the bowl, things to try. So scraping it out, you want to use something soft. So I bought these plastic scrapers or putty knives, and I bought some sticks, some paint sticks, just to help scrape it out and clean it. Cleaning the bowl is something I'm going to have to kind of get a good system on, and then I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the sludge. Ultimately, I'd like to burn it. I do have the incinerator, so we'll see if that's going to be a viable option. Right now, I just I have a bucket around here I was scraping it into, and then wiping it out, and then I did put some Dawn dish soap in there and clean it 100% before I put it back in there. I don't want the oil to build up and put the bowl out of balance. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire that up, get this thing started again, and then I'm gonna go and go round up some more oil. Now I do have an issue with this thing here. This thing is leaking. I did tighten that up a little more, I hope. These totes here with the coarse threads are not ones I'm going to be using, so I'm just going to use this temporarily right now, and then we'll get this other tote set up, and I'll go get some more with the fine thread and able to actually hold the cam lock thing on there. All right, we got our new plug on there. Hopefully it doesn't explode. Now let's fire this thing back up. First thing we're going to do is turn the centrifuge on. I'm going to have a bunch of switches eventually, and then I'll have them numbered which ones to start first. So if I'm not the one starting it, it can be... All right, we're up to speed. Now, let's plug this VFD in. We got our fan on. We're gonna hit run. We're gonna open this up. We gotta figure out where that's leaking. I did tighten that up, so hopefully that does the job. It's weird because I left for like a day and it wasn't leaking. I shut that thing off yesterday and all that oil came out, so hopefully it's nothing too serious. And okay, we should be running. Now we're getting down to it. We're just above top of this, so pretty soon we're going to run out of so I need to find some more oil. Hopefully this thing's still primed. Oh no, it's not. Okay. I think what I'm gonna have to do is just go get, I'm gonna have to round up some more oil. Okay. I guess we're shutting it down. Okay, I got 3 drums here that I got from one of my customers that does generator service and they maintain their own fleet of trucks. So this should be pretty much clean oil, I hope. I am going to go grab another drum so the first couple, maybe the first gallon, anything off the bottom doesn't go into here, and you know, we can actually kind of get good oil out of it. So let me go grab that other drum real quick. Okay, I'm just going to use this little white container here. I've had this thing for like 15 years, man. This thing comes in handy so much. So I'm just going to pump until I see decent amount of black. Okay, I'm going to, while I'm transferring that, I'm going to see if I can't get that pump going again. It might still be primed, I don't know, but being that oil's on the ground. Oh. Okay, so I'll check this in about 4 hours. See what the difference is. Being that I'm adding more stuff to this today, we're probably going to have a similar result as that first one with that thick, sludgy stuff. I'm really interested to see how well settling is going to work. My settling system that I'm eventually going to implement, I think it's most likely going to be like that second with the thin layer of black around. Oh, here we go. We got our heated oil. We got about 1/3 of a tank. Probably close to 100 gallons. And at $3.60 a gallon, you know, plus with our cut, we probably got about $400 worth of fuel. So we need to step it up. We need to fill all these totes with oil. All right, here we go. Got some splatter going. Finally got to the end of that. Let's do the next one. And we're gonna have to get this dialed in. Okay. That looks like really good oil there. I'm gonna go get a battery charger. I'm not gonna walk away from this thing because it's not secured. Last thing I need is that thing to fall out and then just blow oil all over. In my last, so I've had 3 different setups at 3 different locations. My first shop, once when I was working at home, and my second shop. And my first shop and my second shop, I had crazy spills, like, and it was a silent spill where something started leaking, I didn't see it, and I turned around and just the whole floor was black. It was like that movie The Blob, just creeping across the floor. At my house, I was fortunate enough, someone had given me a 500-gallon fuel tank that for a generator that the generator sit on top of. And what I did is I cut the whole top of it out. It was big. It was probably from here to the wall, and probably it was wide enough I could probably put a tote and barrels along the side. But I had built my processor inside it, and it was 2 stories. It was like this. I had tanks up here and all the stuff, but it was all contained within the thing. I did have maybe 2 little spills, but it didn't matter because it was all inside. And yeah, but we want to minimize oil spills as much as possible. Eventually I would like to have a containment system, whether I build it or whatever. I would like to have this thing sitting on top of something that if I did have a leak, it wouldn't you know, contaminate or leak out the building or anything like that. Okay, so I got this charging up, and it's not much of a difference. It's a really good battery. This thing was pumping really fast in the beginning, and now it's just kind of, it's still pumping, but it ain't no 15 gallon a minute like the pump says. So there must have been, sometimes they throw diesel fuel in here and gas. Must have been some thinner stuff sitting in the bottom. I don't necessarily think these are the right pumps to be transferring the oil. Ultimately, I would like a 110 pump. You know, something I could just bring and plug in and is actually more suited for the thicker oil. So if you got any suggestions, maybe another pump like this, but with a higher gallons per minute, a bigger hose maybe. I don't know. It doesn't have to be 3-phase and all that fancy stuff. I just need to plug it in and send it. It needs to be self-priming. But we'll get there. Wow. I think what I'm going to do, that looks kind of green. See the condensation in here? That's going to be a problem. I'm actually going to probably set this so that it can vent off. I might install that fan today, and just to keep it from building up condensation in there. I was at Home Depot last night. I was going to buy some filter material, but I think I have some here that I can use. You know, I'll put the fan on there, and we'll have to put a filter around so no contaminants gets in there. Wow, that's hot. I can't see. We're only at 100 degrees. I think we should be at 180. Problem is, I can't see the numbers on that dial. I'm about to use my phone here for a second. Anyway, I'm gonna crank that up a little bit. That feels good. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to somehow bleed the condensation off. I wonder if I put another trap in here, but with a vent going out. I don't know. We'll have to play with it and experiment. Like I said, it's going to be a work in progress. It's going to be a lot of tweaking to this setup. And then I got to get the parts for my static blender, and then figure out how I'm going to set up. I might pull one of these tanks down and put a 55-gallon drum up there of diesel fuel and let that bleed down into the final tank. But hey, we're getting there step by step. Now we got heat, we got our pump working. It is a funny color. That might be, I mean, I did just put a bunch of stuff in there. I'm hoping it wasn't water. This thing is taking a long time. But we're transferring it, we're getting it in there. We're getting a good amount over here. I think later today I gotta run out and go do something. All right, it's the end of the day and it is absolutely pouring out there. I am literally soaked all the way down. There's literally a river running out here. I got my other trailer loaded to the truck for something you'll see coming up here shortly. But I got another barrel I got from the neighbor down the way, so we got more oil to dump in here. But we're done for the day. Been running all day. Now, I did let this run while I left. I went out for about 3 or 4 hours picking up scraps. I did turn the heater off. I just wasn't really comfortable with leaving that heater on, because I'm pretty sure it's boiling. It's boiling the oil up in there. So what I'm going to do is a shutdown procedure. We're going to start with the heater. I'm going to shut down the pump, shut the valve. Hopefully it holds. I don't know if the valve was leaking or that thing. It looks like I did, by twisting it, it looks like I did get it to tighten up. That cooled down at some point during the day when I was gone. These outlets are so crappy. I mean, if you just touch it, they fall out. So it must have vibrated out. Like I said, we're gonna have a solid setup. So now we're gonna unplug the actual centrifuge. And she's winding down. Must have a lot of weight in there. I'm curious as to see what's going to come out of this tube here. It's probably not going to be for a minute, but I'm going to go find some dry clothes and I think that's going to be it for this video, man. We got it running. I mean, we got the heater. I am going to have to do some research on the temperature, the gallons per hour. I think I got it down pretty low because we've been running all day. I dialed it way down, and I might be too slow for the heater. It might be boiling it up in there at the temps I was running. We don't want to be boiling stuff to where, I mean, this thing was shaking. I was wondering why this was shaking, you know. But let's see what we got here. We literally got half a tote. So if it's 250 gallons, we got 125 gallons of clean oil. I will be running that through again, all the way heated with the proper heat, proper flow. I'll get a little bucket, see how fast it fills up. You know, a quart, four quarts in a gallon. I can figure out the hourly from that. But I am going to take a sample of this oil here, and then I'll take a sample of the other oil. I'll put it in 2 glass jars, and we'll see the difference. Plus, we'll see the difference once this has gone through. I checked the sludge. Tomorrow, is this still spinning down? Yeah, it's still spinning. She probably got a lot of weight in the bowl. Tomorrow I will probably be able to run the rest of this. Well, I'm going to add to it, so probably not. I'm just going to keep adding to this. We're going to have to start figuring out the system where I'm going to pull it from the top, because I can't keep pulling sludge from the bottom. That's just ridiculous. It's making this thing do more than it actually has to. We should be seeing some oil coming out of that thing now. It stopped spinning. And tomorrow what I'm going to do is figure out what I'm going to do with these tanks up here. We're not going to use this one at all. I'm just going to dedicate that to scrap. We will use this one here, or maybe, I don't know. I just don't like the fact that I can't really put you know, I want to be able to put something on here where I can have 2 valves. I don't like the fact that there's only 1 valve. Oh, here we go. What do we got coming out? And that looks like some watery stuff. So tomorrow we'll see how our things work. I think these are going to be a great addition. I'm not sure what other people are using, but I don't want to scratch the bowl, so we want to run plastic or wood in there. And yeah, I think we're well on our way. I think tomorrow I'm going to start pumping this up there. I don't know if I'm going to use that pump or if I'm going to break out one of my other pumps, you know, kind of refresh it and set something up. I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure it out when we get there. So if you come this far, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, because I went out and picked up a bunch of scrap today. We got some more Michael Jordan scrap. And interesting thing about this is, you know, I always buy this as number 2. But that Romex is like $2.20 a pound, I think, $2.30 a pound. And because it's mixed, but he had some Cat 5 in here. I got more for the Cat 5 than number 2 insulated. And I didn't know that. I always thought Cat 5 was like a low grade, barely number 2. It actually is worth more than number 2. Yeah, so with that being said, we got bins, a couple more bins. You know, there's always bins around here full of scrap. So stay tuned for some scrapping, some micro scrapping. Might even do a live stream here. We got a lot going on in the shop. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but right now there's a lot cleaned up out front. You'll see here coming up soon. And there's, like I said, I got something really big in the works that's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be a game changer. So we'll see you on the next one. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before?